That's my main access. Was this phone. And like if I leave the phone at home, I ain't gotta worry about it. I can go the whole weekend and just have my call phone, which I don't have any internet access, and I'll be free. I'll be. But then I was like, you know what? I need my phone to transfer money from my bank account to communicate with you guys and any other number of reasons. But if you leave your phone at home and just go through your day without it, it changes things. And it's hard for a lot of us to do because, like I said, you need it for so much. You become so dependent upon it. But this black box that we carry around is idol worship. Like, this is where we do our prayer, our worship. Like, we worship porn. We give our seed to false images. Like, these people aren't actually having sex, they're actually performing. It's not even a real intimate, organic God moment. So that voice is ego. There's different words or names for it, but it's a programming in your mind that, like an autopilot, you sort of get used to a certain way, and when you go off of that way, it's like, what are you doing? And I was here by myself, and that voice popped on. It's like, hey, bro, it's time. You brought the phone. It's just you. You ain't got shit else to do. It's Friday. And I'm like, I took the phone and I put it in my backpack. And I put it at the bottom of my backpack and zipped it up. And I got in my car and I called up a friend who I hadn't seen in a long time. Went to Walmart, met up with him, told me about being an Israelite, like a Hebrew, a modern day Hebrew, learning Hebrew. And it was like a whole another topic or train of thought that I wouldn't have even considered. That experience elevated me to an extent, even if it's just a little bit, whatever percentage, versus me sitting at home masturbating for hours. It's the choice. When you feel that voice telling you, oh, you messed up because you didn't masturbate, that's the voice being ignorant. That voice doesn't know any better. It only knows what it's been perpetually taught. So the more you defeat that self without masturbation, instead of thinking about listening to that voice of, oh, you missed your opportunity, be present in the moment with her. See how much more energy you have, how much more creativity you would have, how much more tolerance you would have. It's easy to sort of ride a high and just be like, yeah, I'm good because I'm high. But you're not really good. You're just kind of out of it. You're only halfway in the situation. The whole percent of you isn't there. It's not present. Like, I'm trying real hard to focus, but I got this toe monster licking my toes to death. Anyway, so the medium for that quick serotonin, that release in the brain, how do you get that shot of, I need to feel good now? Today, I was at a photo shoot with my wife and her friends, and everything was very sensual, very feminine. Like they had all these flowy, the smells were in the air. There was a lot of R&B playing. All the girls were really dressed up. My wife was pretty much naked most of the time. And I was in silk pajama bottoms and she was in a silk pajama top. So very arousing situation. I felt comfortable in that situation because I haven't been looking at pornography or masturbating in the last 4 weeks. So before, I would have been so awkward, like looking up, looking around, trying not to just eyeball breasts and stuff like that. I felt so, what's the word? Normal? optimal, unashamed. I felt unashamed of being there amongst all of that. As to where before I know I would have been sweating, would have been uncomfortable, and probably would have been in the bathroom busting one off. There was a point where I started to meditate. I got quiet, I closed my eyes, and I was sitting in a real comfortable chair. And I just listened to all that was happening around me. And then slowly, everything that I was listening to, it all started to blur into one. And it was just this noise, background noise. And then inside my mind, that thought of all the things that were going on, it started to blur. And I realized that the noise inside of my mind and the noise happening around me is all one happening. Like it's all happening at the same time, constantly. And when I didn't try to put a name on it or be like, okay, this is so and so talking, or I'm worried about what I'm doing tomorrow or how I'm gonna do this. Instead of doing that, I was just being. I was just there, quiet, still. Man, y'all, it felt like when I opened my eyes, it felt like waking up from like a good ass nap. Like that really rested, well rested. Everything was brighter and more intense and more interesting. I was just like, to the point where I actually told everybody at lunch, like we left there, went to Cheddar's to go get something to eat. And at lunch, I was like, does anybody else feel like that photo shoot was like a long time ago? And Liz pointed out, she's like, well, Gene, you did leave us for like a good little minute. You was sitting there in meditation and you was gone. And I'm like, yeah, I was. And that gave me that boost, that serotonin boost, that feel good. So meditation, that's it. All right, guys, challenge. I'm gonna make another video because this one's mad long.